Wow, I've heard higher-ups in the games industry say some dumb stuff before, but this really takes the cake. So this man is Alex Hutchinson. He is creative director at Google Stadia, so I imagine he is leading certain titles that are in development for the platform. And he recently took to Twitter to express a take that has proven to be wildly unpopular. He is getting ratioed hard, so you can see right here with this tweet, 1.3 thousand likes versus 6.4 thousand comments, and then the tweet before, 1,000 likes versus 1.8 thousand comments, and the ratio just gets worse. This tweet, 265,000 likes versus 1.4 thousand comments. And then this one right here, similar, with 63 likes and 776 comments. And that ratio is only bound to get worse as word of this begins to spread. So what's up with this Alex fellow? What exactly did he say? Well, he is suggesting that content creators and streamers should be paying developers and publishers in order to stream their games, their titles, that developers and publishers should be able to monetize streamers who decide to play their game to an audience. Just completely ass backwards. So here's the first tweet that he put out there that started all this. Alex said, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. Immediately, nobody appreciates the threatening tone here, where he talks about how all of your content could be gone soon if publishers decide to do what I think they should be doing right now. He's telling content creators and streamers that we should be worried when publishers enforce this, because if we don't pay a licensing fee in order to stream that content, on top of the full price that we already paid for the game, we should be worried that our content will be pulled if we don't pay extra. And I don't get why Alex assumes that streamers and content creators don't pay for their games. Either they got a key from the developer for review, preview, streaming purposes, or they actually spent their own money buying the game that they can stream if they so desire. Alex continues, the real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. There's a reason why game publishers don't give a crap when streamers stream their games. In fact, that is the ideal scenario for them. Have you heard of Among Us? Fall Guys? Fortnite? Minecraft? Hell, let's go way back. Amnesia: The Dark Descent? These are some of the most well-known games in the world. And for some of these, like Fortnite and Minecraft, these are some of the biggest games in the world, period. After all this time, these titles continue to draw massive audiences, and Among Us in particular, that's a game that came out 2 years ago, and it was not doing all that well. Very few people were playing it until a streamer decided to stream the game, show what it's all about, show how fun it can be, and then everyone got on board, and now Among Us is doing gangbusters, all because of influencers and streamers. Guess what happens if you force them to pay some kind of license in order to stream these games? They're not going to stream the game. And so the game's not going to get exposure, and it's just going to kind of fall under the radar, while other games that don't care about streamers and content creators putting footage of the game out there, streaming the game, or covering the game, those games are the ones that will thrive. In a follow-up tweet, Alex doubles down with this. Amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that the creators of content should be allowed to make some of the money from other people using their content for profit. But you are making money from content creators and streamers who are spotlighting the game in the form of sales from people who might have never found out about the existence of this game or how fun it can be until they saw a streamer or a content creator cover it in a positive light or stream it in a positive light. The amount of exposure and money from sales you'll make after popular streamers and content creators spotlight a game is worth far more than the amount of money you'll collect from licensing fees. Just the exposure alone, that's priceless, my friend. And as this Twitter user aptly put it, you're proposing a system that would tax streamers to promote your game. It's flawed. But Alex insists otherwise, stating they're not promoting the game, they're running a business. It may also sometimes promote the game, but that's not their business. Well, of course, a content creator or streamer's main purpose is to inform and or entertain an audience. And people who watch these content creators or streamers regularly, who follow and subscribe, are there for the person. And when that person endorses a video game, people are going to look at the game and go, maybe I should give it a try. And so that inherently becomes promotion that comes through in the form of entertainment and information and through the personality of a particular influencer, streamer, content creator, whatever you want to call it. And publishers have seen how influential a big name just playing a game to an audience, what a drastic effect that can have on sales, what a positive effect that can have on a game's revenue potential. That's why most publishers and developers actively encourage streamers to stream their game or to cover their game. Everyone gets to win. Content can stay fresh and entertaining, while developers and publishers can rake in money from that exposure that leads to sales. I just don't understand where Alex has been this past decade or two. Has he not seen the kind of positive results that a game has seen because one day a popular streamer decided to pick a game up and stream it online, and that caused the snowball effect that led to everyone else wanting to stream the game, put some content out there, which leads to a bunch of people wanting to buy the game and try it out for themselves. That explosive growth is why games like Among Us, Fall Guys, Fortnite, Minecraft, why these titles are so successful today. This is organic, explosive growth that would not be able to happen if streamers and content creators didn't feel a certain semblance of freedom and safety to stream the games that they want to stream because they're genuinely entertained by it. I should also say, game companies and developers, especially in the AAA landscape, are already raking it in from game sales, from microtransactions, loot boxes, the unskippable in-game ads that they're trying to implement now and normalize now, season passes and DLC and all of these different things. They have so many avenues of monetization. They're raking in record revenue. And you're suggesting that they should take more, this time from streamers who actively help these companies make more money through the content that they make, through the personality that they put out there, and through the games that they stream? And you think what? The money made by charging content creators licensing fees will go to developers? No, that's going to go to the pockets of publishers, to executives, to the higher-ups who rake in all the cash, make dozens of millions of dollars a year, while the developers and employees underneath them make a fraction of that. Scrolling further down, Alex suggests that maybe developers should get a revenue share from the content creator rather than charging an upfront fee. You did not create the content that's out there. People don't watch content creators and streamers because they're playing a specific game. I mean, sometimes maybe, but more often than not, people tune in for that individual, for that personality, and their reaction to a game, their take on a game, their information about a game. My personality, my content is not something that game companies own, and so long as content is transformative enough, it falls under fair use. You can't just say, I own that now because it has a bit of my content in it. If I cover news about a game, what, do I have to pay a licensing fee because I use footage to cover news? You know what I mean? This is dangerous territory we're getting into here. Just imagine the way publishers could exploit this, where they might not give out a license to someone who covers their games negatively. And so that person, if they use clips from that game, then they might get copyright struck or whatever unless they pay a fee, but still publishers may not allow that user to buy a license. And guess what? Even if someone just straight up uploads a full walkthrough of a game without any commentary whatsoever, even if the content isn't super transformative, because video games are interactive, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is you cannot experience a game by watching YouTube videos. You have to buy the game and play it. The fact that video games are interactive separates it from movies and music, that, once you watch or once you listen to, you have experienced the whole thing. With video games, though, you have to get your hands on the controller or on the keyboard and mouse, and that's the only way to fully know what it's like to interact with that product. And that's why content creation surrounding video games is so ideal. You want to know the irony to all this? Just yesterday, Alex, before he went on this rant, retweeted this Stadia ad that features, you guessed it, influencers who are helping promote Stadia. People who played games that they bought or talked about them on the internet and helped those games garner some semblance of exposure or growth. With a system that Alex is proposing, these very same people will not want to stream those specific games that charge to be streamed. Does Alex think that if this is how things worked, that Minecraft would be as big as it is today, Fortnite would be as big as it is today, would Among Us be where it is now? No, it wouldn't. And how the entire plan of Stadia is to leverage content creators who can stream Google Stadia titles on YouTube and then provide links that people can click on to join a match and whatever it is. Like, they have all these plans that involve influencers, and this guy, who is a creative director at Stadia, spouts the most counterproductive thing to Stadia's own plans. It's not something that I'm worried about, because I'm telling you, this is never going to happen. There'd be such a huge backlash, and it'd be such a huge detriment to a company's reputation and the ability for their games to have the kind of exposure, the kind of positive exposure that would allow their games to become the next Among Us, the next Fortnite, the next whatever, the next Minecraft. It would be just such a dumb lose-lose idea. But Alex is still spouting this nonsense, and here's more irony for you. Alex posted a tweet after all this, simply stating, anyway, gonna hop online and stream some Fall Guys. Who's up for it? Well, Alex, did you pay for the special licensing fee? The freedom and safety to share is what fuels the influencer streaming content creation landscape. Stadia, I've got to say, if you've got people like Alex being creative director, if you've got people like Alex giving you ideas, then no wonder you're where you are right now, because Stadia, as a platform with a business model of having to pay $60 per game just so you can stream them, that feels just completely ass backwards. And what Alex is proposing here feels ass backwards. If this man is a creative director at Stadia, and if Google Stadia heeds anything he says, oh boy, are they going to be in trouble. I mean, they're already in trouble now, but man, does Alex have some really dumb ideas about the future of the games industry, the future of the relationship between developers and creators. And just think about how what Alex is proposing here would affect smaller streamers and creators who might one day become big enough to really be able to give a game exposure. These people who, don't have the financial support to maybe be able to pay out some kind of licensing fee to stream a game or to cover a game, they wouldn't be able to thrive in this kind of environment. And small creators are just as important as big creators, especially given that you never know when one day a small creator will get big and be able to provide a lot of exposure for a game. And by enacting a system that Alex is proposing, you'd be squandering that potential for that influencer to grow enough to provide entertainment and valuable exposure to certain titles. Literally everyone loses from this proposal. It is the dumbest idea, and to be seriously considering this and proposing this, you'd have to be so out of touch with current realities. And the fact that this individual is a creative director at Stadia, man, this is someone who clearly doesn't understand the value of word of mouth and how far and how wide and how fast word spreads on social media, especially when influenced by creators and streamers, especially big names. That kind of word of mouth that spreads on a viral level, that's something you just can't buy. It's something that happens organically when you let these creators just kind of put entertainment out there using your game or whatever other thing. Most people with common sense understand how asinine this idea is, but just in case any developers or publishers get some ideas from Alex's post, no, don't do it. It's a dumb idea. It's a lose-lose-lose situation. Nobody wins from this. Stop it. I think I've said everything I need to say. This is one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Alex Hutchinson's comments about content creation and how they should be charged a licensing fee to stream certain games or to cover certain games, to use footage from certain games. Drop a comment, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.